Hey everyone, this is Grim. It's kind of fun to do this again. It's been a little bit too long, and so thank you for waiting for me. I hope you're having a great day. Today, I actually wanted to talk about a topic that I find very interesting and kind of difficult to teach. A lot of this is going to come from experience, but I want to give you my tips and tricks on how I assess my opponents, how I decide how dangerous they are before the fight even begins. There are also some things I'm going to point out during a fight, like, how to keep an eye out for incoming opponents, stuff like that. But this is actually a huge component of fighting open world and fighting 1vx. Sometimes, like, there are going to be groups that you can take, 5 or 6 of them, or even more. And there are also going to be groups that you can't even take one of them, or, they're 2 really decent people, or they have good synergy, and you're not going to be able to kill either of them because they cover each other. And so a lot of people die because they make the mistakes of thinking that, numbers are everything, or they miss 1vx opportunities because there are too many people in a group. So I want to talk about how I size people up. And the first thing that I want to focus on really is going to be the user interface. So my user interface is a big part of how I'm able to essentially track what's going on in a situation, in a fight. So you can see I arranged my user interface so that I get as much information as possible for the smallest amount of space taken up. I have a whole video on the add-ons I use if you want to check that out. But the big thing that I want you to pay attention to during the clips is going to be the enemies' icons at the top of the screen, the top center, and at the bottom right. That bottom right one is bigger, and it's the one I use while I'm tracking my own resources. But that one at the top, which is actually the game's default bar for units that you look at, it's a unit frame is what it's called. Anyways, the default unit frame includes all sorts of useful information like the person's name, their @name, their CP, their rank, and then of course you can see how much health they have. And all of those things are going to be vital when you are trying to assess how powerful an opponent is. So let's just jump right into some clips because this is going to be a long video. I've got a lot of clips. Let's go. Okay, I was wrong. There are only 2 clips, but it's still a pretty long video. Anyways, this is myself and Zach, another Nightblade. And here, I see a bunch of people come in. I turn and I try and count them and take a look at their ranks and their levels to see, how deadly or frightening I think they are. As soon as people start turning their backs on you and heading towards the guards, you can usually be pretty certain that they're not much of a threat, especially if they're not healing, they're super squishy, they're putting down wall of elements. This kind of looks like a PvE guild to me. It doesn't seem like they know what they're doing. That guy came in, attacked me, and then buffed with Rally. I see all those guys coming in, and this is when we think, okay, this fight is over. We've got to shift gears, and so we decide to go into the tower. The tower gives us a modicum of control over the flow of the fight, and we can kind of control who we fight. The guards will deal with some people. They'll be trying to flip the flag, so we can come up here. I like to go to the 3rd floor, of course, and here I can decide how much of a threat the first person coming up is without the people behind him being able to target us. So that kind of takes off a little bit of fear, and I can focus more on killing the person regardless of who they are. When we outnumber someone, we're almost never hesitant. We don't really have to assess who they are unless it's friend. So I always pay attention, and I don't usually attack my friends or people that are in my guild who are playing on different factions. At this point, we realize that this fight is probably not going to be a winning fight for us, so we verbally confirm that we'll probably be running away from this one. But in the meantime, this guy's come up all alone, and we expect a few more to come up alone, so we're going to try and pressure him. I really don't want those werewolf bleeds on me, so I'm trying to stay really fast and mobile, but I've got a poison build, and werewolves are really allergic to poison, so get a little fear off, get the quick execute, and we're good to go. That was not a bad win. It's at this point when everyone else finishes on the flag and runs in, so we see all of them and decide it's time to book it.
In the middle of a lot of people, actually.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Yeah, we did actually pretty well.
Dude, GG Nightblades! I got like 9 of them. Maybe
That
not
was
quite.
Yeah, I got a decent amount of them too. Like, they're really, really bad, but there are so many of them.
In this fight, I'm going to try and be a little bit more mechanical about things that I look to notice. One of the first is going to be health, of course. That guy goes down really quickly, so I pressure him, and here I think that the fight is going to go really well, and then Zach died. So Zach's actually a pretty defensive person, and I make it a point to recognize all of my teammates' strengths and weaknesses. So when Zach gets bursted down like that, I try to be extra careful. And so I ran into the tower, and it looked like that paid off because I almost got bursted. And if all of those guards had successfully hit me at the same time, or if I'd stayed in the middle of all of them, there's a good chance that that guy would have killed me right there. So from now on, I've got to be really careful about that. And I'm going to try and pay attention. But this Templar has come back. So now it is a 1v2, and I really have to know my limit here. They both seem to have extremely high damage, and since now I'm not so sure, so certain that that first guy is really weak, I am trying to be extra careful. But it looks like that second guy, who had disappeared on me before, is also fairly squishy. You just have to get him in the right context. So now I know I can take either of them alone, but my chance of getting bursted down with both of them there is very high. And you can recognize that I try to be really careful until I knew that. I really want to know and gather as much information as I can. A lot of it is going to come with experience, but some of it is just going to be, a quick equation in your head of what is their level, what is their CP, what is their class, and how comfortable are you fighting that type of spec. For me, Stamplars are one of the harder classes to fight because they have snares, they have AoEs, they can pull you out of things, and in the case of a Stamplar, they're just as fast as you, and that can be really frustrating. So I really have to be careful. Now that I have each of them one-on-one, I'm really trying to put on the pressure because I don't want them to come back alone, because that's going to mean restarting the fight for me. And I want to kill these people before the guards are able to respawn. And I don't want them to be supporting each other. But sure enough, here they are again. It's a 2v1, so I'm back into the tower. And look at all the damage come out, and look at the snares come out. Things are dropping, and I really don't want to be in the middle of that, especially with such low stamina. And it's at this point that I recognize, they have no intention of following me up anymore. They just want to sit on the flag. So I decide I'll kill that guard, get some stam recovery, but the guard reaches its limit, which is actually super annoying. And I have to kind of rethink my approach here. That was dumb, but now I've got some resources back. I'm comfortable. There are less guards than there were before, and the guards are still really squishy, so I'm going to do what I can to pressure this guard from a distance. I want to see if I can bait them to come into here, because I know that if I can get one of them alone, if one of them comes in here before the other, I'll have a huge advantage because I can burst them down. I know they're really squishy players, but they have a lot of damage, so I have to be super careful about that. And here I'm just checking to see how much food I have left. That thing hit me again, which is even more annoying the second time, but I'm just going to let it expire. I don't want to use stamina, and then I use it anyway, so it doesn't make that big of a difference. But now, I know one of them is inside and one of them's right there on the flag, but I didn't think he saw me. He puts down caltrops, and that makes me feel even more comfortable. I'm able to get him down really quickly. Now there's just one left. This is where things are good, but I have to make sure that I don't get bursted by him or by the guards, because guards are still a huge problem, especially when it comes to snares and CCs. Because they'll hit me, and it's very annoying. And they are a little buggy as well. So my health gets low here, my stamina's really low, I'm not super pleased about that. He keeps vanishing, that's annoying as well. I'm trying to fear him. It looked like I got it off, but my stats are just too low, I'm not willing to go in. And I want to make sure that I can actually get everything up. And I'm willing to play a little bit more defensive, because I know his strength is burst, but his weakness is burst as well. So there it was, I bursted him down, I got him at a vulnerable place, and now I can take care of the guards, and everything is clean and easy, and I win the fight. For this last fight, I'm not going to commentate it directly. Instead, I want you to watch it and try and imagine what I'm thinking while I'm fighting them, how I'm assessing them as threats, and what I do in response to those threats. And then once the threat gets, higher or lower, depending on the situation, how I react to that and take opportunities to attack when I can. So pay attention, enjoy, and I'll catch you after this clip. Hey, if you made it this far in the video, thank you. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed yourself. If you have any questions, of course, please feel free to leave them down in the comments. I pretty much read all of them, and I'll try to respond to you as quickly and eloquently as I can. And if you want to join the Discord, all of that is going to be in the description, all of that information, links that you may need. And please feel free to come play with me. Also, you can subscribe to the channel. I'll be making more videos, so you can keep an eye out for those. And if you guys are interested on my thoughts on the next patch, I usually like to wait until the patch is actually released, but I'd be happy to make a video talking about my thoughts so far, because it's going to be a big patch for Nightblades. We'll see how it shakes down. It should be fun. Anyways, I hope everyone has a great day, and I'll see you later.